Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Director Vogt, for being here. I think you said the president supports the big bill that was passed out of the House, correct? I think you also said the president does not support cutting Medicare.
Correct.
Okay, so in the bill, there's a $500 billion cut that gets triggered to Medicare. So I know a number of the people who voted for the bill are starting to read it now and finding there's parts they don't like. You might want to take a look at that provision.
As you know,
that's okay. That's okay. I only have
you don't want the
5 minutes.
explanation? Okay.
I didn't ask you the question, did I? I'm asking you a question though. Since we didn't have your remarks this morning, I think we got them this afternoon. You mentioned cultural Marxism. You did it in your comment. Could you please, in 2 or 3 sentences, define cultural Marxism?
Sure, it's a political theory that instead of dividing people on the basis of economic haves or have-nots, that you're dividing people on the basis of race and identity. And it's an attempt that we've seen, unfortunately, in this country, culminating in CRT, of dividing people on the race in our agencies and identity.
So your definition, Mr. Director, is different than the definition I'm pulling up. First thing that pops up on here, it says cultural Marxism refers to a far-right anti-Semitic conspiracy theory that misrepresents Western Marxism as being responsible for modern progressive movements, identity politics, and political correctness. That's first definition that pops up here. It actually comes up a couple times on the first page.
On Google?
You identify yourself as a Christian nationalist, correct?
Look, I'm a Christian. I don't think my faith should be a subject for this.
No, I just asked you a simple question. Do you identify as a Christian nationalist?
No, this is a Christian. My faith is about is one of an evangelical Christian faith.
That's okay. Not here to debate that. I saw
But you brought it up.
Christian nationalist. No, I asked you if you were a Christian nationalist. You said you weren't, correct?
These are debates in the think tank world that we have about
that's
what
all
it
right.
means
Stop,
to be a
please,
Christian nation.
Mr.
It's not about what I've been
Director, that's not the
been
question
asked.
I asked.
I've not
Okay,
been
so
asked to talk about that.
you support the efforts of DOGE. You mentioned Steve Davis, and I know we talked about trying to bring the director of DOGE in here, and that would be very helpful. Problem is, I just read he's also leaving with Elon Musk. So who's in charge of DOGE? If the guy who is taking over after Elon Musk, who just left, and he's leaving, it sounds like this is a bit of a circus. Who's in charge of DOGE?
The cabinet agencies that are in charge of the DOGE consultants that work for them are fundamentally in control of DOGE.
Oh, that's an answer only a mother could love. All right. So you support the efforts of DOGE, I understand. Is the federal government currently spending less this year than it did last year?
No, it's not.
Right. And part of that is because you've sent us a rescission package worth $9 billion that goes after Big Bird and Cookie Monster, but you've added $200 billion to defense and homeland security. You've also, the bill that you just said the White House supports is going to add, depending who you talk to, $2.4 trillion to $5 trillion to the national debt. It's going to make somewhere between 11 and 16 million people lose their health care. I know you said on a Sunday morning show no one will lose coverage as a result of this bill. Is that still your standing?
Which one of those would you like me to take?
The one I just asked. I'll ask it again. I'm sorry if I wasn't
The bill
clear.
does not lead to less coverage for Medicaid beneficiaries. It has improper payments, and it leads to the fact that people who are ineligible because they're illegal aliens or because
Illegal
they are
aliens
unwilling
do
to
not
work.
get federal dollars from Medicaid, correct?
That's not true. They get them in many different states, including California.
Federal dollars?
Federal dollars
They
using
get state
provider.
dollars. State can provide it. Are there any federal dollars?
Congressman,
how many
because
federal
of-
dollars then, since
Congressman,
you are
be-
the expert, how many federal
Congressman,
dollars go
because
to
of-
funding illegal aliens getting Medicaid?
Congressman, because of the money
It's a question,
laundering.
it's a number. It's a question, it's a number. How many dollars go to illegal aliens, federal dollars, for Medicaid? It's a simple
Congressman,
question.
It is not actually a simple question because
All
Congress.
your secretaries have a hard time with simple questions lately. I got to tell you, it is a
don't
simple.
pose simple
But you were saying that that's true, so we will. If you can get back to us with that amount, how's that sound? How much federal dollars? are
I'm
going
happy to get back to you about how the bill works and getting rid of the money laundering
So
schemes
a
that
lot of
state
people
use.
disagree with you. The CBO disagrees with your analysis. Yale and Penn said 13.7 million people will lose health insurance. You also said this won't increase the debt. Is that correct? The
It
bill
will
won't
not increase the debt. It
So-
will lead to
So
reduced
there, the
deficits. and
Cato
debt.
Institute disagrees with you. Moody's disagrees. The CBO disagrees. Senator Hawley and Senator Rand and Senator Collins disagree. Elon Musk disagrees. Virtually everyone on this side of the aisle. So you're saying everyone is wrong, but you are the right one, that this does not increase the debt?
I'm saying that all the watchdogs, including the Congressional Budget Office, use a skewed vision of a view of what the baseline is.
They were less
base-
than a few percent wrong last time on your tax bill when they predicted it almost dead on. So you're saying this time there's significant changes and they don't know what's going on and only you do, is that correct?
I'm stating that they use a baseline.
You disagree with the Cato Institute
Yes,
and Moody's
yes.
and Senator Hawley?
Senator Hawley has a view as to the Medicaid programs that we are working with to articulate why we believe that these reforms do not hurt the beneficiaries that are involved.
I'm over
Chair
time, but
now
I'll appreciate
recognizes
it next
Mr.
round.
Edwards. Chair now recognizes Mr. Pocan for his lightning round question. 2 minutes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I want to thank Ms. Hinson for putting in the record to verify what I said, which is undocumented immigrants are not eligible to enroll in federally funded coverage, including Medicaid, CHIP, or Medicare, or to purchase coverage through the ACA marketplaces. And in California, indeed, it was state funds. So thank you, Ms. Hinson, for having my back. I love bipartisan cooperation. Project 2025, you're one of the authors, you're on the advisory board, you work for Heritage, you're basically January, February, and March in a Project 2025 calendar, right? But you were asked this weekend about it, and you said, no, the administration isn't following Project 2025. So just, I'll go through lightning rounds, since I only have 2 minutes. Just tell me coincidence or not. In the Project 25, abolishing Department of Education, you guys are doing that. Is that a coincidence?
The president's view
Coincidence
and
or
agenda,
not?
the
Just
president's
coincidence or not? That's all you got to
president's
ask.
agenda
Okay,
is
I'll go
being
through the
followed.
rest. Any diversity, equity, and inclusion?
The president's agenda is being
Shifting
followed.
FEMA costs to the states?
The
Targeting
president designs
PBS
his
and the
agenda.
National Public Radio?
President
Freezing
designs.
federal assistance, restricting gender-affirming care, revoking security clearances, stripping civil servants of employment protections, reinstating service members who refuse COVID-19 vaccines, banning transgender people from the military, a hiring freeze, withdrawing from the World Health Organization, sending active duty troops to the southern border, limiting refugee admissions, rescinding temporary protected status designations, capping indirect costs for university-based research, requiring disclosures of foreign gifts to universities, apparently not planes to presidents, asserting the president's power to remove federal officials, and targeting NOAA. Were those all just coincidences that they happened to be in Project 25 and they were just in the back pocket of the president since November?
The president has never been more of a promises made, promises kept president than we've ever had in history. He has run on an agenda. He was very clear on that agenda. He's now enacting that agenda. And those of us who work for him work for his agenda in executing that agenda.
Chair now recognizes Mr. Alford.